Hello. Thank you so much for joining me for this Navaratri series. As we progress in this series, I got a very interesting personality joining me today. Somebody who has been a career banker, moved across various industries, and has a very close association with the industry on many ways and has worked with the industry in multiple roles. It's an absolute privilege for me to welcome Nikita Bose to the session today. Nikita, thank you so much for taking out time and joining me for this session.
Thank you so much for the gracious invite. And as much I am thrilled to be interviewed by you, it is all the more overwhelming to be a part of the Navaratri series. So thank you very much again. Yeah.
We know you and we see you so much on the social media in a different era, but I believe the journey was not the way it looks today. How did the journey start with you, and how have you moved across banking to the various sector, working with the MSME to the responsibility that you hold today?
Okay, so I would say that so when people ask me about my journey, I would say it is no special journey than any other woman today. And because of being a woman is in itself very special, so it sort of becomes worth sharing. So I would begin from where I actually began. So I hail from a Bengali family in Lucknow, rooted by my grandfather, who had been a superstar in the field of sports. He had been Mr. India, bodybuilding, weightlifting, and whatnot. And my father, being a veteran lawyer and a social worker for around last 40 years. My mother being from hailing from journalism, now she's doing freelancing, and my two younger sisters. So it is all the background. You can see a diverse background. So I started off as a banker, as all of us know. Got married in the due phase of being the same, and then got stuck in sort of a health issue, wherein I was advised 6 months of bed rest. And strict bed rest, that means I was not supposed to go out to work. So I had to leave my job when I was at the peak of my career. And those 6 months actually had a bell curve. It started with what to do. Oh god, I am done. It was the phase of a depression, utmost depression. I reached the heights. I cannot do anything, and blah blah blah, and all those things happened. And then I really fought with myself, with my own things, that this is not the way you are supposed to behave. This is not you. So those 6 months, the first phase was reaching out to the heights of depression, that I am nothing, I am zero now, and then thinking about what next, where I would be doing, where I would be reaching out to. So I started to do my homework, what I can do. And because I started at the very young age of being a banker only, so finance and banking was there in my blood. So I thought that let us begin with something relating to the finance field only. So I started a very small consultancy with only one product called mutual funds. I took all the requisite codes and all those things, and I started pitching mutual funds to my set of clients. And then it started doing very good, and I reached my peak in a span of 2 years. I reached my break even. And then the market started to crash, and I started to panic again. Oh my god, was it the wrong decision to be an entrepreneur? Because I became the first generation entrepreneur in the entire family. Nobody was an entrepreneur. Everybody was my grandfather was into roadways, father being a lawyer, and so I took a pause. Okay, what to do? So again started doing retrospecting myself. So mutual fund is a risk bearing security. Always it will have risks. So why not to add some fixed income securities? Then I started adding fixed deposits, then bonds. And then I suddenly realized, oh, I can expand also. So I started adding products like housing loans, personal loans, credit cards, insurance. And then I started incorporating with lawyers. So I added legal services in my portfolio. I started to incorporate with a lot of chartered accountants. So I added CA services as well. And then eventually became a small, you can say decent size distribution house in the territory. Then I worked with a lot of MSMEs, lot for the MSMEs, especially women entrepreneurs, in getting them MSME finance and getting them project loans, etc. And when I realized that this country has so much of talent, especially women, and they are so much engrossed with ideas, but at the same time they lag behind just because they don't have the exact knowledge of where to reach to, whom to ask for finance, how to reach access to market, access to finance. So I thought that this is something I should look into, so I started to run a lot of MSME knowledge sessions for entrepreneurs. I took a lot of sessions for the young entrepreneurs also in the universities and colleges, and this is where I was asked by CIMSME to head the women entrepreneurs wing of the organization as the state chairperson of Uttar Pradesh. And I also eventually became business mentor with Startup India. And all this was going on in my professional space. On my personal space, parallelly, in this due course of time, I became a mother of the most wonderful child on this earth. His name is Avyan. And mostly I'm quoting him personally because mostly in the Indian parlance, what happens is a woman's career just, takes a downstream, or probably it just ends, or we say that, okay, you can take a back step because now you're a mother, you have to take care of the child. And when I was at the peak of my entrepreneurial thing, so that was my baby, my venture, Finance Craft Enterprises, was my baby. And on the other hand, I have my own baby, and I am looking at both, what to do. So when I looked at my baby, I thought that, is this my weakness? Is this human being that I have created, is this my weakness? Then I realized, no, this can be my strength. He can be, and touch wood, he had been, with me in and out. He went out for meetings with me when starting from when he was just 2 months old. I used to take him, and he had never been, a baby who would throw tantrums. You have always cooperated with me, and probably whatever I am, I might, give a good share of credit to him as well. So this is something, I would always say that the women should, women entrepreneurs especially, or especially the women who are working, children are never your weakness. Never consider them. Just, be with them. All they need is you. So that need has to be fulfilled by any means possible. So, and then I came across with this opportunity, the government of India and the ministry, where I am working as an MSME program expert. So when I got this opportunity, I thought that, okay, this is my forte, this is my league, and that too at the epicenter of what I have done till throughout. So I applied, I qualified, and reached here. And I think this is it. Every woman goes through this. Someone has one issue, someone has another. Somebody has the issue with the family, probably the in-laws are not supporting. So at the end, my touch wood, my in-laws have been really, really supporting. My father, being a father of 3 girls, he has never taught us to be lesser than anybody on this earth. So this is touch wood, I am being blessed. But at the same time, woman, I am always saying, should never be taking a step back just because there is a hurdle. There are problems, but there are solutions as well. So, and as a matter of fact, it is never a cakewalk with family and work in both the hands. So, but we do. That's what we are supposed to do, and we are meant to do that. So that is all the journey I would say I have till now. And I'm really, I'm looking forward to more and more challenges coming on the way, and see what I can do, what best I can give to them.
Amazing. So this era, when we are talking about a $5 trillion economy now, I think one of the biggest contribution, which is highly underrated, or probably the most underrated, is the contribution of women entrepreneurs in multiple ways, right? It could be in terms of small home, the grow udyog, as we call them, from the smaller enterprises till the time wherein the girls have stepped into their father's shoes to run the larger enterprises as well. This has happened across. What has been your experiences of looking at this, and what has been the experience of looking at the same phenomena across the geographies also?
See, women entrepreneurs, I have seen a small enterprise of starting a boutique, or starting a small cafe, a small catering business, or maybe a tiffin service, till the women entrepreneurs like Vinita Singh, Sugar Cosmetics, and Nika, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Women are all over, especially from India. I am so thrilled, and I think this is the era of startups. And I would answer your question not only in terms of women entrepreneurs, but also in terms of the entrepreneurship as a whole for the entire nation. See, I also started as an entrepreneur, and I have actually seen that changing phase. India has been, backed by this sector of MSMEs and startups. India has, and it is, they have actually taken the economy upwards, and we have never been thankful to them as, as somebody, because the sector has been so unorganized.
It's,
Uh, because it is unorganized, it is not seen that how they are contributing to the economy. So now I have seen that phase where the country has started to acknowledge the efforts of the startups, of the MSMEs, and now they have started to give a boost. And that is how the government is coming up with so many schemes in terms of finances, in terms of knowledge building, in terms of, access to markets. They're sending entrepreneurs across international summits and seminars to understand how international markets are to be captured, and so many things are happening. So yes, smaller women entrepreneur, when you're talking about the question I'm coming back to, they probably don't have the knowledge, and that is how where I find myself, or probably a lot of other people in my territory who are working into this. The knowledge enhancement, the awareness is the key, where आपको पता ही नहीं है ना what I am supposed to look at, where whom I am supposed to. I am just loitering around whom to speak. जो सामने ही खड़ा है, we can definitely ask questions, and the banks are there, but people are, because they don't know that some MSME financing can be given by the bank only. There are loan services for specially designed for women entrepreneurs. There is CGT MSME, CGT MSE scheme, especially subsidies for women. So all these things are there, but the problem is the lack of awareness. So that is how I think we are slow, but not really slow as of now. So I think we can reach out to them.
you brought in a very important point. Sometimes the government of India schemes, particularly related to the banking and the startups, a lot of them are channelized to the nationalized bank, and that basically sometimes becomes a huge hurdle when it comes to particularly reaching out to women entrepreneurs as well. Right, there is a lag. The system itself is there is an inherent lag amongst the state owned banks, which is stopping from this particular money being dispersed in the right way to this particular the whole potential entrepreneurs that we are talking about. Is there some kind of initiative which are being taken right now that you are into the position to impact those things? What is it going to happen, and how we would see that thing accelerating?
See, government is actually, when we talk about in terms of MSME space, and when I have already told that a lot of things were not there in place and now are being into focus. So one is this, the biggest thing, the World Bank initiative announced by the Prime Minister of India on this MSME Day. It's the RAM program, the raising and accelerating women, raising and accelerating the MSMEs program of which is the initiative of World Bank, and a lot of focus is there, which is given on the women entrepreneurs. Similarly, already existing the CGTMSE scheme, wherein the subsidies for women entrepreneurs is there, and so many other financing schemes, specially designed for women entrepreneurs, is available. The only issue is people are not logging into the government websites, msme.gov.in, or probably startupindia.gov.in, or they are not, asking the bankers by themselves. It is not necessary that it is only through government banks. You can always take help from the private banks as well. Everybody is enriched with knowledge. The issue is you are not, reaching out to the right person. Reaching out to the SIDBI of the nearest location, reaching out to the State Bank of India. I think these banks are well equipped to tell you that, what are the relevant schemes are there, and where your credentials fall appropriate, and what facilities can be given to you at the best. And even I am also individuals like me, and I am also very much available on LinkedIn, and I have been helping people to reach out to the best possible, which is falling into the criteria of what kind of an organization they are, what kind of financials they are, and how they can avail that financial help and assistance from the bank. So this is something, yes, the awareness is less, and people are actually not asking the right questions to the right people.
Very important point. Now that brings me to another point at this juncture. So one is that the knowledge or the confidence with which you are right now stating the facts, the numbers, the way they are looking at the schemes, that comes from a lot of experience and the fact that you have put in the effort to make things happen. Now, when I look at the younger generation, they seem to be looking at the things to be available on platter. Probably things being available on YouTube or on social media is what they are looking at, and that is somewhere also creating a huge challenge of distractions with this particular part. If you the journey that you have had, and if you want somebody to start that journey today, that particular focus would be lost. That's what it appears as on date. What would be your advice to youngsters who want to build up a career into finance today, or who want to look at the entrepreneurship? How would it happen? How can they take care of the distractions?
Mr. Pandey, you have actually, hit on the right nerve, wherein I also keep on speaking when I'm speaking with a young crowd in the universities and colleges, and the young entrepreneurs. They are so enthusiastic, and they are so, filled up with the, a lot of ideas, and a lot of what we can say passion, and they want everything, yes, to be there on the platter. One which is very good, that the energy and the enthusiasm and the passion is so high, which actually you never used to be at the first place, because we at our age we never saw that kind of a thing happening so smoothly. So they are seeing individuals, the companies like Zomato, like Sugar, they're going, just in a very short span of time, going so high. They're seeing that, and they can see that things can be reached at very short span of time. At the same time, to channelize their energy is the biggest challenge. When I would talk about my own experience, and I was telling you that I started off with a very the having being an entrepreneur was not exactly my on my head. I thought that I want to do something of my own, and I just flew with whatever God has given me. The issue that I would say that the first challenge I told you, when I started with mutual funds and there was a bloodbath in the market, and I saw that, oh my God, what to do? I would have easily taken a back step. Would have said that, okay, this is not working for me. Probably I would look for another job. I have been a veteran banker. I can do that, and getting a job was also not a very big challenge for me into the banking field or whatever. The issue was, I thought that this can be rectified, and I'll tell this very small story of that I have seen the movie, and that has been the inspiration for my life. This movie was Catch Me If You Can, Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio. And the story, the father used to tell to the son that there were two mice, and they fell in a bowl of milk, and one couldn't swim and just drowned. The other kept on swimming and swimming and swimming, and until the milk turned into butter, the mouse walked out of the milk. So that is the story. You'll have to keep on probing and probing. First of all, number one answer to your question should be, what is the right is the opportunity, or this focus of mine is correct? Is the enterprise I am starting to build up is right for me? So better look out for mentors. They are now easily available. Better look out for a mentor. Can be anybody, your own family, anybody who has been a veteran into that business, or anybody from the LinkedIn. Also, LinkedIn, it is such a beautiful platform for reaching out. So I would give all my credit to LinkedIn. My network is my network today because of the LinkedIn. And so you can reach out to n number of people and find out that, okay, is this business opportunity that I'm wanting to go ahead, is it correct for me? And especially not looking at कि अरे उसने ये business किया, उसका चल गया, मैं भी वही करूंगा. No, this is a complete no for any any entrepreneur, because anything A plus is for him might not be A plus for you, probably an F for you, because you are a different human, you are a different, you have different credentials, you have different attributes. So dekha dekhi ek to nahi karna hai. Secondly, never, if you have done a lot of good homework and you have found out the right business, you found out this is the thing I need to do, you have been guided and backed by a lot of entrepreneurs, then don't, because failures will come. गिरेंगे नहीं, you will not hit it, you will not hit the wall, you will not get to know that this is a strong wall, I have to build in more pressure. So you will face challenges, you will fall down definitely, but until and unless you will not fall down, you will not get success, you will not find the sip as lovely and delicious at the first sight. And this is how entrepreneurship is, and I'm sure all the entrepreneurs who would listen to me would understand and back by this, that failures are the key to success, absolutely. So looking forward, yes.
So this failures, or the ability particularly to accept the failure and overcome, is something that appears to be a huge challenge. Is it got to something with the fact that the kids are basically a bit too much pampered by the parents, because their ability to stand up and then fight back is something that appears to be far more lesser today?
That is a very very prominent thing which we can see. Pampering is there. Even I also had a discussion with my husband and with my in-laws, that we actually knew value for money, because we had seen all those days wherein there was someday there was a lot of money and someday there was not, and we actually got acclimatized and accustomed to the fact that okay, money is an important fact, an important factor to drive our lives. I am not talking about a very older generation, I'm talking about my own kid. He's very small, but abhi usko kuch chahiye hota hai na, we just jump up, and even before him asking, we'll look forward to things ki isko ye bhi de de, wo bhi de de. We are earning well and we are pampering our kids, that is very important. But at the same time, teaching your child the value for money is the biggest important thing for any parent to look forward to, because aap usko de to rahe ho, you are giving it your child the best that you can, but you are not telling the importance of achieving, how you are getting it to him. That is very important, that he will not realize at the end of the day that how this thing has been achieved. And god forbid anything, god forbid anything happens wrong, you never know how life is, and he will not be able to sustain this kind of a failure, because I used to get everything in platter, now suddenly what happened? So yes, the upbringing should be like that for the young parents to teach the children that this is something you should be getting in some this I have earned it, the value of anything. And at the same time, when you're talking about these young generation that we are seeing right now, yes, absolutely, getting things at a very just in the wink of, like Google, kuch bhi question dala, you just Google it and you get it. Previous eras, we have to search for so many books and ask so many people. So yes, things are really easy also, and it will actually turn out to be very very difficult when you're trying to understand and retrospect yourself. So everything comes with a cost, everything is easy also, and everything has a flip side as well. So yes, people should be more what we can say, patient. People should be more disciplined towards their lifestyle. Discipline, I think, would be the key step for any entrepreneur. I would always ask that if you are disciplined, you can achieve anything. Time management is the biggest thing that and reaching out to and sustaining some client that you have. Getting a client is one thing, but sustaining the client for the longer tenure, and being keeping up the relationship, all these things, these are values. And I'm sure MBAs and marketing, whatever they are studying these days in colleges and universities, they are getting through it. Let us see. I think ऐसा भी खराब situation नहीं है, and just channelizing of these bright energies and big enthusiastic faces, I think that is the key we all should be looking at from our contribution.
Absolutely. One question. What would be the advice to you if you are to younger self, if you are starting today?
To my
To
son,
your, to yourself, if you are
to
starting your
myself.
career today, what would
Huh.
you tell your younger self if you were to start your career again?
Oh, okay. You are again drawing me back to my memory lane. Yes, I would advise myself to be that I have learned from myself to be more patient, to be less impulsive, and to acquire as much as knowledge and learning from anybody I meet out to. Because knowledge is something which is, I would always say, it is a never ending thing. मैं जितनी भी बड़ी हो जाऊं, whatever I can achieve, I can learn from a youngest person in the family. So there is always room for knowledge for me, and I would, as an entrepreneur, I would always, as I have always taught myself, never let myself down. Always keep walking and looking ahead, never backwards.
Amazing. On this great thought, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for enlightening all of us with your insights. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a great conversation, and I truly loved it. Thank you.